Hey guys, Scoundrel here, and welcome to my guide on using an early game composition and capitalizing on a lead. This is from a Pinnacle of Awesome Silver game. We had a Weapon Power Saw and an Idris. Now, we're all grouping up to contest for the Elder Treant because we have such an excellent level 1 brawling composition. You've got Shakram and the wind up on the Saw, and you can see we are taking our forward camps for multiple reasons. A, it stacks up Saw's passive, and B, it allows us to get a read on the enemy as to potentially where they could be in their own plan to contest for this Elder Treant. Now, we will start it up because Saw is stacked up and it means it will go down very quickly. You'll see here, I should have potentially flared the enemy jungle shop brush because it would have given an indication as to whether there was a steal on the cards. You don't want to get this stolen early on, and you do want to cover all bases. I didn't, and we got away with it. Catherine didn't manage to land her Relentless Pursuit, and because she Relentless Pursuited, I found a great impale opportunity onto her and Adagio. Look to then follow up using that flare just to try and seek them out and get as much damage down as possible. We didn't get the kill, but as you can see here, I'm going to zone them away from their own jungle camp. So that's one of the ways that you capitalize on the early lead. You just look to consistently pressure the enemy jungle wherever possible. We didn't push further because Ringo hadn't appeared at that point and he could have potentially 2v3'd us. But as you can see, I see him out of position in lane, and I'm now looking to just try and get an early gank onto him. If you can land an impale on Ringo in the early game, he's very easy to take out, especially if Saw is in any kind of position to sort of start using his basic attacks. Now, I'm going to stick around because I want to try and pressure Ringo here, but as soon as I land the impale, look at the Catherine. She's on a 3rd HP, she's level 1, and I have Gythian Wall available, and she is mightily close to a piece of terrain. So you can see here, she's close to Saw. Saw's not going to catch up to Ringo and kill him, so I just turn immediately and deal with the Catherine. I get the first blood, however, it does now allow Saw to do what he does best, which is pressure the turret. Keep an eye on Ringo up there in the top left corner, just hit by the suppressing fire, twirling silver just use, easy impale, easy kill, big minion wave stacked up for Saw here, and that's what you want to do with a Saw. The more pressure you can put and allow him to get onto turret, and you can see here I'm soaking up basic attacks from Adagio, so Saw doesn't feel pressured. He can get more and more of those basic attacks to structures, and that's what Saw does best. When you pick a Saw, you basically want to put pressure on turrets. Now look at the minimap. Just saw that arrow appear. I see Idris is in the enemy side back camps. Where is Adagio going to go? Straight after defending turret, straight to his back camps. We take the kill here, super easy. I get taken pretty low, which means Idris might not be able to capitalize, but he does. It's a bit risky to do so because you could get collapsed by the Catherine and Ringo, but I'm going to back off here. And that's now allowed 2 camps to be cleaned by Idris in the backside of their jungle. Adagio's now starved to farm. Saw got pressure on turret. And this is about 2.5 minutes into the game, and we're already really starting to storm ahead. So I'm going to speed this next bit up because it's basically just me walking, which is not that informative. Saw's pushed up here. I could go to help him in lane, which was my initial impression, but I see Idris getting chased by multiple enemy team members, and he hasn't somehow died yet. Now, with that missed impale, this whole segment's going to feel a little bit Benny Hill, but the important thing to note is that Saw is now at the enemy tier 1 turret, which is great for him because he takes the first one of the game straight up at 3 minutes for us. Now, the whole enemy team has come to respond to a very low HP Idris, which is great because Saw's now at the tier 2 turret, so the more time that I buy, the more likely it is that he can pick up another turret in favour, which is another huge gold swing in for us. So Catherine here, a lot of people might have just given up the chase, but no, I'm pretty confident A, we can get a kill, but B, we can buy Saw more time, and we did. He picked up another turret. Now, I hope you guys are learning one major lesson against weapon power Saws, and that's never leave your turrets unattended if you can help it. As you see, our Saw was destructive. Now, I made a very risky purchase here. I'm going to speed things up as I kind of wander through aimlessly across a couple of brushes. I took a tension bow. Now, tension bow is going to allow me to be super aggressive. It allows me to capitalize on impales that I can make without relying solely on Saw and Idris to do most of the legwork. And if we group up as a unit, it means that if I actually land an impale onto Adagio or Ringo, for the most part, you can guarantee that they are going to take a significant portion of damage, if not die. Now, I didn't back here because Saw with my Iron Guard contract is actually going to help me regenerate fairly readily. And also the fact that the Ringo and Catherine, they're all pretty low themselves. Now you see Catherine tried to get that last basic attack and kill me there, but she ultimately met her demise. And now with my Tension Bow, Idris and Saw, we're going to get another structure. Hugely important, because remember, Saw is kind of on a timer in some scenarios, where because he's so immobile, he's quite easy to lock down with CC. So you want to try and win the game as quickly as possible. So a lot of the work for this win was done pre-4 minutes. We need to look at it in chronological order to understand exactly what happened. We knew that we could fight for Elder Treant level 1, so we stacked Saw's passive up on the forward camps, and then we basically fought for it. We got it, and then we capitalized by looking to be aggressive towards Adagio and Catherine. We didn't get a kill, but we started some aggressive jungle moves that starving some gold income from Adagio early on. Catherine being low and behind on experience meant that in lane we were able to get a kill onto Catherine, and Catherine dying there allowed us to seek a turret dive which killed the Ringo and allowed us to put pressure onto the tier 1. Now, the enemy made a mistake by chasing us into our side jungle, but we capitalized by buying time and allowing Saw to take 2 structures. We then used that advantage and bought a Tension Bow and Lance to be as aggressive as possible. Not only did it allow us to be aggressive towards enemy heroes, but we also had extra turret taking ability. When you combine that with the Saw, you will just melt through turrets, and we did. We managed to get a singular push, getting the inner and outer turrets and leaving just one Vein Crystal turret up and alive. And you can see now towards the end of the game, even if the enemy team is up and available, we are going to melt through this structure. We're going to ignore them and then deal with them after the structure has already gone down. There is almost nothing the enemy can do at this point in time. They can't get close to Saw, not even the Catherine. Ringo can't get within basic attack range because he just goes down. And then we just win the game outright, getting a cheeky ace towards the end too. But you can see here, we just completely rolled through this game. We get a Vein Crystal explosion at 8 minutes 7, and that was probably one of the easiest games of my life in Pinnacle of Awesome. Now, they didn't have the best composition into a Saw. Catherine is okay, but realistically, Ringo and Adagio, unless the Catherine is able to tank up those basic attacks from the Saw and get a stun down very quickly, and then you can burst the Saw afterwards, you're not going to be in a great position to deal with him. Now, we capitalized on the enemy's mistakes very well that game. However, not every game with the weapon power Saw is going to go this way. We didn't lose sight of what was important, which was the structures. Sometimes you can get bogged down in trying to fight all the time, and we did our best to starve gold income for Ringo and Adagio as much as possible, allowing our Saw to just catapult ahead in terms of item advantage, and that gave us that supreme prowess in team fights. I hope you guys have enjoyed the commentary, and if you've learned a little bit from it, that's absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be doing another guide this week as well, but this is just to tide me over. It was quite an easy little thing to do, and I kind of enjoyed playing this game as well and wanted to share it with you guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.